Alright, kind of what I want to do today is go over Kenrith. I want to take out a card and put in Urtai Resurrected. While I'm doing this, I also want to talk about the future. The game is going through a major change right now, a major shift. I've been playing for 30 years. I got started in the game in October 1994, and I've seen a lot of major shifts. I saw the Chronicles, Kerfluffle. I remember when Fallen Empires became crap. At first, everybody was excited for it. I was excited for it. I didn't know any better. I thought, hey, Magic set, a new Magic set, new Magic cards. Neat. Different arts. Fantastic. This is a great set. Not knowing shit about the power level, really, not really understanding the game. Keep in mind, this is a time when I was in a shop and I saw a Mox Pearl, an unlimited Mox Pearl. I remember it distinctly, for $30 US. 30. And I thought, and I told my friend who was looking at it too, why the hell would anybody pay $30 for a basic land? I knew nothing, really, about how to play the game properly. But I'd already fallen in love with it. So I saw that Chronicles created a huge windstorm, tempest in the game, although I didn't understand it because I thought, hey, good, now I can finally get a Killer Bees because I wanted one for the art. Okay, so it's white border. Not really considering the secondary market because that wasn't part of my experience of the game at the time. And then of course 6th edition rules changes, the frame change from the old frame to the 8th edition frame. That caused a lot of consternation. For me, I thought it was pretty cool. But now with this imposition of secret layers, of them going into standard, of Magic diluting itself and becoming, as so many commenters have said, basically Magic Fortnite, I don't know if it's going to, how much longer it will be the game that I love and I want to play and I want to collect. I was listening to, what's it called? I just had it. So, for one, the Professor. For two, Gone Rogue Games. And then, of course, Rudy. But Rudy's take is purely the money. Let me get to what I'm doing and then I'll ramble on. So, I want to put Urtai Resurrected in Kenrith. So Kenny is my 5-color deck. Well, now I've got Reaper King, so I've got 2 5-color decks, but Kenny was the first one I built in a long time. 4 and a white for a 5/5 human. He's basically a Planeswalker. I mean, he's got 5 abilities. You can trigger them all at instant speed. So, red, all creatures get trampled in turn. 1 in a green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, anybody's. So you can help somebody out, be political. 2 and a white, target player gains 5 life. Again, you can use it on your opponents. Somebody's going to die, you can save them if you need them as a buffer. 3 and a blue, target player draws a card. Again, you know, hey, do you have an empty hand? How about if I give you a card and you don't attack me for a while? You know, that sort of thing. 4 and a black, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under its owner's control. Any graveyard. But of course the owner of the card gets it at instant speed. So when I first built Kenrith, I just stacked a bunch of cards up, put a bunch of basic lands in, and went with it. And it kind of worked. It was interesting to play. But then it stopped working. It showed that unless I get good draws, it doesn't have much ability to recover from early turn stumblings, from not getting ramp, from not getting creatures out. So I shifted it to more of a reanimator deck, to lean more on that instantly put a creature from the graveyard into play. So opening those Dominaria boxes, maybe you saw those 2 videos, looking at the numbers, most of you did not. So it's apparent to me that my box opening videos are not popular at all. But anyway, I got this Urtai, I got 2 actually, 2 Urtai Resurrected. 2 black-blue for a 3/2 Phyrexian Human Wizard. And he's pretty ugly. I mean, I remember, I still have a copy of Urtai. Is he Wizard Adept? I think he's Wizard Adept. Anyway, he's 2 and a blue for a, I believe he's a 1/1, and you can spend 2 blue, tap him, and counteract spell. So he's a counterspell in legs. And I've still got one. I got it at a time when it was at a price high, and I got sucked up by FOMO because the reserve list just kept going up during COVID. And I thought, oh shit, I better get one now or I won't be able to afford one. Well, now his price is tanked by about 80%. But I can still play with him. I can still enjoy him. And I do. He's in Azami. He's in the Blue Click clan. And then there was Urtai the Corrupted. I forget what he does. I didn't care. The art was ugly. The abilities didn't interest me at the time. They still don't interest me now. I would have to look them up to remember what they do. But I don't think they're relevant in pretty much any game I want to play. But this guy, so he's flashy. When he comes into play, choose one. Counteract spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. Its controller does a card. Okay, that's pretty damn cool. That's Venser. Or destroy another target creature or planeswalker. Its controller draws a card. Fantastic. That's Swift End without the life gain or life loss, but somebody draws a card. And Kenny, if I'm making him a graveyard deck, I kind of need a way to protect the graveyard. From Bajuka Bog, from Tormod's Crypt, from Withered Wretch, from Angel of Finality, from any of that bullshit. And I don't have that. I don't have any ways to protect my graveyard. So Urtai, he fits the bill. He's not that much to cast. He's flashy. Of course, if he's dead, I can bring him back into play instantly with Kenny. And Deadeye Navigator can flash him around. Of course, the question is what to take out. I already thought of what I should take out, but now I just need to confirm it. But anyway, so we go through here, and I don't know how much I'm bleeding over into other things by having these weird full art cards. I think I have one anime card in here. But I don't have any Universes Beyond. I don't have any non-magic cards in this deck. There's no Walking Dead bastards. There's no Transformers. None of that shit. I did have a Transformer Walking Ballista, and I thought it was really cool when I got it. I was like, oh wow, this is fantastic. It's a robot fucking missiles. That's cool. But when I actually cast it, when I actually played it, and I'm looking at this robot with missiles on his arm next to all these creatures in Animar, I'm thinking, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right at all. I don't like this. So I sold it. I still haven't replaced it with an original Magic Walking Ballista, but Animar kind of doesn't need it. He's a fucking house. So the other Universes Beyond card I have is Inigo Montoya. Inigo Montoya is in Voya, and it's because I don't like the art on Samut Voice of Dissent. The art on Samut it's terrible. Artistically. As far as the technique, as far as use of color, it's good in that it's well done, but the way it looks, the way it came out, with Samut bending over like he's having a bad case of Montezuma's Revenge, and I don't like that. So Inigo Montoya, as a reskinned Samut, I play that. And it doesn't feel that out of sorts. Princess Bride is high fantasy. And I could see Princess Bride being connected to Dominaria. I could see all those characters on Dominaria. But no problem imagining that. Probably just with more magic. But when they're coming out with, I mean, next year, half the sets are going to be Secret Lair. Iron Man, Spider-Man, Storm of the X-Men, Wolverine. And that's not Magic to me. And Rudy's take on it is the numbers show that they sell really well. That Wizards is onto something, and they're going to make a lot of money. And that's all they care about. They don't care about the enjoyment of the game in so much as the game is still playable enough to sell cards. That's what they care about. If the game is broken for a time, but they're selling the cards that make it broken, they'll handle it. They'll get to it later. If the game becomes unplayable and people start leaving, that's when they notice. That's when they start paying attention. And people like me, so a lot of people like me, been playing for a long time, that want to play Magic, don't want to play Fortnite, don't want to play superhero Smashdown, they really don't care. They really don't care because we don't spend that much money in the game compared to all the new players coming in, the players that will come in for Iron Man, that will come in for Wolverine, but will only stay for about 2 years, maybe 3 years, because the life of an average hobbyist lifespan in the game is about 2 to 3 years. So me, with my 30 years, it doesn't matter, because in the entire time I've been playing, I have probably spent as much money directly in the primary market buying sealed product as not even a whale, but just somebody who loves the universes beyond would buy in one go. I really haven't spent that much money over the years on primary product. I've always gone more for the secondary market for the most part. And if I leave the game, if I quit playing, if I quit buying things, Wizards it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't impact their bottom line. It's nothing. It's statistically insignificant, my purchases. And there's a lot of people like me that are in the same boat. So if we leave the game, or we quit buying, it doesn't matter as long as the new people coming in for My Little Pony, they're coming out with SpongeBob. I heard both Moxman and I only started watching his channel recently. Gunro Games, I don't know his real name, but Gunro Games and Moxman both are talking about the upcoming SpongeBob set. What the fuck? SpongeBob in Magic? If it's silver bordered, okay, I'll accept it. That's fine. Silver bordered is fine. Like My Little Pony, that was silver bordered. That's fine. I don't care. But I don't want to. I already get. It's kind of a joke in my play group when a cube plays his. I think it's Tyranids. His Tyranids deck, and there's a dude on a motorcycle. Dude on a no-shit motorcycle. And I hate it. I don't like it. Yes, we had Urza's power armor in Invasion. Yes, we've had some weird vehicles in Kaladesh, but they still felt like Magic because of the way they were presented. But a goddamn no-shit motorcycle? With weapon? No. Yeah, I put Buried Alive in Kenny so I can get creatures out into the graveyard so he can resurrect them. I was thinking of taking out Veteran Bodyguard. But then doesn't have much of a home. And I've had this, speaking of me being in the game for a long time, so I had this card signed for me by Douglas Schuler himself. Well, obviously, artist signature. Sometime in the late 90s, I was at a convention, some group gathering, and he was there signing cards. So I had him sign it, and when I sold out, this is one of the cards I kept. So I've had this card a long, long time, and I want to play it. This is one of my first favorite cards. When I look at it, it takes me back to the days when I first started playing, and again, I didn't understand the game, and I thought if I have a regenerating bodyguard, if I put regeneration on veteran bodyguard, I'm immortal, as long as I have the mana to regenerate him. Didn't really know about swords and plowshares. Didn't really know about, think about Wrath of God, any of that. And then, of course, you know, somebody that had been playing the game understood it better than I did, said, he only stops creature damage, so I can lightning bolt you all I want, and you're going to die. Oh, that kind of sucks, but I still like the card. Still have fond memories of playing him, so I want to keep him in the deck. Rampant Rejuvenator enters battlefield 2+1/+. So Kenny, I can put more counters on him, and when he dies, I will go find basic lands, put them on the battlefield. Put them on the, I don't see tapped in there. So that's pretty damn cool. He dies and I get the basic lands. They come and play untapped. That's fantastic. So I don't know what the game is going to be like. I'm pulling these up because I'm thinking I'll take a tutor out. I don't see anything else really. I don't want to take out any creatures. I don't want to dilute the core of the deck, but I am willing to dilute the tutoring of the deck. So I'm thinking of taking one of these out. Get that for the thumbnail. So these changes aren't going to be felt right away. Those sets aren't coming out till next year, but we can see them coming, and we can see what the game is doing. And they're going to release the secret layers with the X-Men, Storm, Wolverine, well, Marvel characters, because Black Panther, Iron Man, and Captain America. Those will go on sale in 2 days, and they'll start shipping relatively soon. So by the end of the month, people will have those cards in hand, and we'll start seeing them. We start seeing them on tables, and then we can really get the reactions and hear what people say about it. Some people are going to love it. I'm not going to lie. Some people are going to fucking love it, and some groups are not going to care. They're going to think it's cool. Yeah, Ice and Saskia against you with Iron Man backing her up. Well, actually, Iron Man can't, because Saskia's color identity is different. But Kenny, I could put Iron Man and Kenny. I'd have to rework the artifact package, but he'd fit in there. Wolverine too. And some of the lads I play with think that's really cool. I think it would be just immersion breaking and bizarre, and don't think I'd like it. And then there's the power creep. The massive power creep. I think it was Gone Rogue Games or Moxman, one of the two, talking about how Wizards has done resets. I mean, Zendikar was a reset of power level. Kamigawa, the original champions of Kamigawa, which is still funny. Betrayers of Kamigawa, the initials are BOK. Saviors of Kamigawa is SOK. Champions of Kamigawa should be COK, but it's not. It's CHK, because they don't want anybody talking about playing cockblock. Hey, let's run some cockblock. And the dissonance and the obvious nature of that choice was readily apparent to anybody who was looking. And for Wizards not to have thought about that, and not to have thought people would not see that, is insane. You can't tell me nobody said, okay, we'll call Champions of Kamigawa COK, so that'll be cockblock, and somebody else in the meeting is like, what, we can't call it cockblock? Well, we're calling Betrayers Bok Block and Saviors Sock Block. That's fine, don't worry about that. Only they wouldn't call those blocks because it was cock block. It was Champions of Kamigawa block, back when they used to do blocks. For those of you that don't know, which most of my audience I think does, used to be they would have one big set, two small sets, and that would be a block, and you could play that block specifically, so you get the experience and the feel of that world. For example, Champions of Kamigawa, they slowed down the game. They had just come off Mirrodin, and it was pretty apparent they had artificially upped a lot of power, a lot of mana cost, powered down a lot of creatures, because people were not happy with how fast Mirrodin was. Not happy at all. They were pissed. So, if you were playing Champions of Kamigawa block, you would have one pack of each set and then draft that. Or you would just build a deck out of that block. So you've got a real feel for the world. And the cards would come about once every quarter, a new set was released. So about once every quarter. So you had a lot of time to really get to know the set, to really love the set, or hate it. If you hated the set, you're kind of stuck, because it's not going to rotate anytime soon, because it only comes out once a quarter. But if you love the set, and you've got months to get to know the characters, get to know the story, see the cards, play with the cards, get to know the cards, to really get deeply involved. Now, it's 7 weeks. 7 weeks, that's it. Not even 2 months between Bloomburrow and Duskmourn. I really don't know what the hell is going on in Bloomburrow. My daughter was asking me about the Elspeth card. Why is she a mouse? Well, and I told her, well, when you go to Bloomburrow, you get turned into an animal for some reason. Something about the world. Well, that's silly. Well, yeah, but that's what they did, and it's kind of cool. But I don't know why they went there. I don't know what they were doing there. I know that there's something with the elementals, the capital creatures like that black bird, that all your opponent's creatures have a base toughness of 1, something with those things. But I don't know, because I didn't get any time to really get to know the set. It's just bang, here's Bloomburrow, bang, here's Duskmourn, pretty soon to be bang, here's Foundations. Foundations comes out in 2 days. What the fuck? It's just coming too fast, too soon. So that's another change I don't like. But I pulled back out of that. I'm just deeply involved in playing the formats I play: Commander, EDH, my Obsolete Modern decks, my Vintage decks. So I don't even pay attention to the storyline anymore, because I don't have time to get into it, and the next set is just going to rotate, and they're not spending much time on the story. Bloomburrow, bang, 1 set, done. 7 weeks later, bang, here's the next set, done. If they had Bloomburrow as a big set, and then 2 small sets, over a period of 6-9 months, we could get to know it. I would hear more about the set. I would get more involved in the set, because the background chatter, the YouTube chatter, the Reddit chatter, would be all about that set for a while. But now it's about that set for a couple weeks, and next set for a couple weeks. So it's difficult to follow, and difficult to get that zeitgeist of what other people are thinking about a set, because they're going on to the next one. So, what am I going to do about this? Let me conclude. What am I going to do? First, okay, so I'm going to take out a tutor. I decided to take out tutor. Vampire Tutor is obviously the better one. 1 black, pay 2 life, shuffle your library for any card, pay 2 life, search for any card, shuffle, then put it on top. Worldly Tutor is the same thing, except you don't lose life, and you can only get a creature. So, obviously, if I'm going to excuse me, leave in a tutor, it should be the better one. It should be Vampire Tutor. And which reminds me of the other shoe that we're waiting to drop, the shoe of the tiers. So these EDH tiers that are supposed to be announced someday, unless they already dropped the idea and they're not going to carry it out, God knows what happens if they don't carry it out. Vampiric Tutor apparently goes in the top tier. It's just that powerful. Okay, fine. If this becomes a super tier deck, Kenny, then I'll just make those changes. Put in the Worldly Tutor back in, take up Vampiric. That's fair. So I'm going to put this guy in to help protect my graveyard, and then do other things. So what am I going to do about the game? Well, I'm not going to stop playing. I'm not going to not play Magic. I'll slow down my collecting. I'll slow down my acquisitions. But I'll still meet the lads and we'll still play. Let me see if that's more interesting for the thumbnail. Yeah, that's probably prettier. I like glare. But then the thing that worries me is not the immersion breaking of the crap that's coming out, the Universes Beyond, because that's already kind of happening. Cube has Warhammer deck. Cube has he's got another deck from Fallout. Rahman, he's got Fallout. Who else has Fallout or some bullshit? A couple of the lads do, and they play it, and I deal with it, and I accept it, and I just carry on. And when the motorcycle guy comes out, I just complain about it. Fucking motorcycle guy, that's bullshit. That shouldn't be Magic. And I say it every time, and they laugh about it every time. It's just the joke of the night. But when it's all in, when there's a Fantastic Four commander deck, that's when it's going to start feeling really, really weird, and maybe I won't want to play against that deck. And what do? I mean, do I tell Cube, who is the one most likely to buy something like that, I'm just going to sit out this game, I don't feel like playing that? That's not really fair to him, because he doesn't feel the same way I do. His idea of the game is different than mine, and that's taking away his joy. And if there's only 3 of us, and then I say I'm not playing against that shit, and I bow out, and there's a 1v1 game, that's not so much fun. So that I have to think of as it goes. As for myself, I'm not really going to get into it. I thought about buying the Marvel Secret Lairs as an investment. One of my friends is planning to do it. The thing is, I don't know if those cards are going to be reprinted right away in the upcoming Marvel sets, the standard sets. It makes sense, just reprint them, maybe with different art, but they've already got them made, and they can make more money off them. So I don't think those Secret Lairs will hold value if that happens. That's a consideration. Plus, let's be honest, Wizards already said that they expect them to sell out immediately, which means they're going to throttle the supply, which means that unless you jump on it immediately, as soon as it goes live, and put your order in, you're not getting it. You're not getting it until you can buy it on the secondary market, because it's going to sell out fast. And they've engineered it to sell out fast, intentionally. And they've said this. But anyway, we're going through a major shakeup of the game. Major shakeup. What I'd like to see is a power level reset. I was hoping Foundations would be that, where they throttle back the power creep, but they're going in full bore, because they no longer care about the long-term health of the game. They no longer care about retaining people like me. All they care about is the next quarterly earnings and getting as much money for Papa Hasbro as possible, because they are the only reliably profitable division in Hasbro. But they've hit a plateau. Magic has plateaued as far as the money it brings in. And there's only so much room there's only so many people that want to play this game. And as the price goes up, there's only so many people that can afford to play this game. Yes, you can play some shitty decks with commons, basic lands, but that's not really satisfying. You want to play with the power